let's start with which central banks got the money.
There are 14 of them, which are listed in our, I'm sure they're listed in here somewhere.
All right, we actually looked at one of the arrangements, and one of the arrangements is $9 billion for New Zealand. That works out to $3,000 for every single person who lives in New Zealand. Seriously, wouldn't it be better to extend that kind of credit to Americans rather than New Zealanders?
It's not costing Americans anything. We're getting interest back and it comes back. It's not at the cost of any American credit. We are extending credit to Americans.
An estimated 5,000 marchers chanted,
"Hey, hey, ho, ho!"
cheered, and shouted, leaving no doubt about their distrust for banks.
Quad City Die Casting closed September the 4th because Wells Fargo would not keep the financing going for it. Wells Fargo owes us $220,000 in benefits. Right now I'm on unemployment, and Bank of America is getting ready to foreclose on my house due to the fact that I just can't make the payments on it.
We are extending credit to Americans.
They're facing unemployment, they're facing foreclosures. We have homes foreclosing every 7.5 seconds in America, and that's just unacceptable. And so neighborhoods got together and went to Chicago to deliver a message to the bankers that enough is enough. This has got to stop.
It's difficult right now. Right now we're being evicted from our home.
The bank Citigroup, who got at least $45 billion, made an $8 billion loan to the government of Dubai. Bank of America, who got $45 billion of your money, made a $7 billion investment in China Construction Bank Corp. And JP Morgan, who got $25 billion, made a $1 billion investment in India.
These banks are not lending. The economy is stalling. GDP data today will come out showing an uptick. That's not the real economy. Wall Street isn't the real economy. The stock market isn't the real economy. The banks aren't helping us get out of this slump on the structural issues that need tending to, and they're not doing anything about it.
Housing values have just collapsed in this country. The credit markets are absolutely resistant to flowing and to opening up. It is not simply a tracking pole called the stock market.
The point of this bailout was not simply to save some very large financial institutions. It was to have an effect on the real economy. And Congress specifically identified areas like foreclosure and lending and cleaning up the balance sheets on the books, and that just hasn't happened.
Citigroup and Wells Fargo hold half the mortgages in the United States. They issue nearly 2/3 of all credit cards and control about 40% of all deposits. So we went from a country that used to be the entrepreneurial empire of the world to one that now favors the too big to fails.
You have a collapse financial system that impinges on the life of ordinary people in a very big way, and a storm hits them, and understanding of why and where it comes from, it creates anger.
Why somebody would have killed this man, or exactly what happened to this man. What do you see now, given the AP's report about duct tape and gags and the word Fed being scrawled on his body? What is that? What are the options in terms of what could have happened?
Senior executives at the mega firm have inquired about getting handgun permits. The New York Police Department confirmed this fact, but says it cannot identify these people by name. Are the Goldman execs really living in fear of violent revolt, Contessa?
The American people have reached saturation. It's been long and it's been difficult. But we're confining this to what is out there on the planning boards for this nation. And it's coming as a result of the failure of government to protect its borders, the failure of government to protect the American people from gangsters and corrupt politicians that have literally raped this nation from the inside out and the outside in.
What about the Posse Comitatus Act, and where does that fit in when U.S. troops are deployed on U.S. soil?
And now, the show they came for, the test you were not supposed to see. It's an unmanned drone aircraft. HPD, the Federal Department of Homeland Security, and other invited guests all watching to see how this drone could be used for police work in and around Houston.
There is an effort being made right now to bring together the armed forces of this nation in preparation for responding to and acting against our citizens. It is and includes military maneuvers in the United States, military actions that are forthcoming and that will be so deep and so penetrating that the United States will never be the same, in my view.
Terrorist acts are planned, organized, and carried out by individuals or groups. By learning to recognize the signs of terrorism and by reporting suspicious activities to the proper authorities, you can help keep our communities safe. Law enforcement personnel have procedures in place to share information with local, state, and federal Homeland Security officials. The success of our securing our community depends on your vigilance.
As the economic situation in this country dovetails right into the ditch, that when this does become reality, we will see a response that has been programmed and projected by computers of where the most vociferous and the most heated response will be from Americans who simply said, we can't take any more of this. We've lost all we can lose. I'm going to defend what I have left.
As a Cat Eyes trained citizen, we need you to do two things every day. First, pick one or two locations that you perceive to be a potential target for terrorism.
There's nothing left of this nation that even resembles what my father fought for in World War II. It has nothing to do with the nation that I have grown up through in the 1950s and 60s. Our republic is gone, and it's gone as the result of the actions of people who have conspired to take it from us.
Look at that location with a very purposeful glance. If you see anything unusual, then go back, give a better look, and report it. Second thing we need is for all Cat Eyes trained citizens to trust their instinct. If your instincts go off, stop, look, and write down and report what you see. Thanks for watching this program. Now go finish your training online and help protect America with pride.
What is iWatch?
It's a way to report suspicious behavior
or activity that relates to terrorism.
iWatch.
You have the armed forces and the law enforcement network of this nation poised, being readied every single moment to react when that flashpoint occurs, wherever it is.
Let law enforcement determine if it's a threat.
Let the experts decide.
I watch my America.
I watch because I have a sister, a brother,
a family.
I watch because I have grandkids.
I watch because
and because we're sitting in a nation that would rather be politically correct when it comes to any issue, you name it. They would rather do that than face the truth. They would rather do that than be honest with the American public. They would rather do that than serve the nation's interests and get this country back on its feet. They would rather sell it out. They would rather take everything they can and then turn the armed forces of this nation on itself and turn the law enforcement community inside out. Turn it towards the people instead of protecting the people. This is an outrage that has been unmatched throughout human history, except for a few times where a nation with the splendor that God blessed us with has seen it disappear, evaporate before our eyes.
If you see, hear, or smell something suspicious, report it. Report it.